Hello everyone, welcome to our new video channel, and this is a video tutorial series for mainly intended for computer science students and basic science students. We shall teach you many programming languages that are being taught in many Indian universities, engineering colleges, that's C, C++, Core Java, Python, PHP, and we have taken a very simple approach with very small baby steps. I shall give you the videos that you will learn how this code is actually deployed, how coding is actually done. And with the programming languages, we shall also cover up many IT related, computer science related subjects like data structure, some aspects of web development like JavaScript, CSS and HTML new codes. But all over our total course material is intended for students. Okay, it's not for corporate or any advanced topic. It basically very simple, very basic for all the beginners who are just learning programming or learning web development. Our entire material is only for the purpose of this material is to give them what they need in their semester, their examinations, and to make a basic idea of programming and computer science subject approaches. Hope you will like our videos. And if you have any suggestions, you want to know about something, you want to tell us something, anything, you are free to comment us below. And if you like our approach and videos, please be with us, like, share and all those things. So enjoy the videos. This is introduction, so I am over here. Next videos you may see in the computer screen, where we shall discuss the theories and we'll show you how the compiler works and how the program runs. So see you in next videos. Thank you. Hello everyone. Now let's start understanding how C programming works. The programming, before you get into code, you need to know a little bit of the working principle of C, how it is compiled, how it is run, and how the things work. So first of all, you can see that C programming contains a pair of aspects. One is C, another is programming. So what is a program? A program, if you see the formal definition, is a set of step-by-step instructions to perform a predefined task. You must have a predefined task which you will solve through a set of step-by-step instructions. Now, these instructions can be given in C language. So what is C? C is a high-level programming language. Remember, C is not an application, not a program. C is a language. What is language? Obviously, language is a mode of communication. But keep in mind, when we communicate, we need at least a pair of entities. So, C also need at least a pair of entities. So, here we can see where C works. As a human interacts with the CPU through programming language. Now the problem is human interacts in natural language and the CPU interacts in low level or binary language. Neither human understands low level nor CPU understands natural language. So what do? We take a middle way approach, that is high level language. C, C++, Java, etc. Human intelligent being, so we can learn this high level language. It is quite easier to learn than low level or binary. And how does CPU understands high level language? This is through a software or a program called compiler. Compiler, what it does, it translates a high level language code into low level or binary language. Let's see the formal definition. Here it goes. Compiler is a software that translates a high-level source code. The high-level source code written in C language is called source code into a low-level object code, that is binary. It also checks for syntax error in code. If we write any syntax error, any grammatical error in this high-level language, compiler will check for it and let us know where the error is. We have to make it correct, then our code will run. So this is the basic concept how a C programming is compiled and run. Now get into coding. Well, here goes our first program, that is Hello World program. Hello World is the first program of programming history. What does the program do? Nothing, it simply prints the string Hello World. Now we will see how using C programming we can print the string Hello World. Well, to print we have written a certain lines of code. Let me explain what these things do. Hash include stdio.h and hash include conio.h. These are called preprocessor directive. These statements provide support for our library functions like printf, getch, etc. Main function. Main function is the starting point of our C program. The entire code of our C program must be written in the main function at first. In the latter way, we will learn how to write multiple functions in a code. But first of all, we write the code in a main function. This is the starting point of our code. This is printf. Printf is a standard output function. Output library function. This printf library function needs the support of stdio standard input output.h header file. Getch is also a library function that needs the help of conio.h. Now we will compile the code. See, here is no error and no warning. That means our code is technically right. If you see, the lines compiled is 465. But how many lines of code we have written over here? Not more than 10. So the 465 lines got from these two files, stdio.h and conio.h. These files have a number of lines of code, and this printf function and getch functions went to the stdio.h and conio.h, and through these multiple lines of code has been read. Now we shall run the code. See, this hello world code is shown. This string has been displayed through our first C program. If we want to write void main, that means we do not want any values to be returned through the main function. Then we can comment it or stop it or delete it. Then our code will also work. See, no error. But if our main function is in default int main, then we need the return statement. See, one warning, it says function should return a value. If you want to return a value, then you can write main or int main. If you don't want to return a value, you can write void main, whatever you like. Well, we have seen our first code successfully executed. So before going to the next code, some theories are needed to be clear. Listen, what we input in a program, data, and what is being processed through the program, obviously data, and what we get output, it's also data or processed data, or they call information. So you can understand, whenever we write a program, within the program we need some means to keep the data. Whenever the program is being executed, program is running, then data must be kept within the program. So we need some means to keep the data within the program. We have variables for that. What is a variable? A variable is a logical container of data item. Through logic, we can say x equals to 5. So x is the logical container of the value 5, and it must have a name and a data type. What is data type? Data type is the logical definition of data. It says what type of data it will store, how much memory it needs, and these informations. C have the following 4 basic data types. When we go through further, we will learn C has also derived data type or user defined data types. That is, Further, now we shall learn only the basic data types. There are 4 basic data types. Integer, that stores integer number, maybe positive or negative. It takes 2 bytes of memory, means 16 bits of memory, and it is represented through percentile d. This string is needed when we input or output a integer variable. Next is float, floating point decimal number. It takes 4 bytes and represented through percentile f. Next is char. It takes character, a special character or alphabet. It takes only 1 byte and represented with percentile C. And last is double. When we need large precision number, then we use double data type that takes 8 bytes and represented through either LF or percentile U. Small l, small f or percentile U. Another important keyword here we have is long. When we have very large integer number, then if the only integer cannot contain within 2 bytes, we can double the memory allocation through long. Long keyword is allowed with integer and double. We cannot use long with float or character. And what is keyword? Keywords, C keywords or the reserved word, they are also called reserved word, have their meanings predefined by the compiler, like int, float, void, return. What they mean is already defined to the compiler. We cannot change them. We can use them only according to the meaning defined to the compiler. And it also cannot be used as a variable or function name. C has total 32 keywords. Operator. To perform an operation, like we want to add a plus b, then this plus is the operator and a, b are the operands. We have various types of operator. When we will be coding, we will keep learning. And constant. It is an identifier that we don't want to change the value of the identifier. Like when we are writing a code with pi equals to 3.14. Now we don't want to change the value of pi. 3.14 equals to pi, we don't need to change. So we can declare them as constant. These are the theories we need to know before we go into our next program. So let's see our next program. Now see our next code, that is swap. Here we swap two integer variables a and b. The value of a will be transferred into the value of b and the value of b will be transferred into the value of a. Now let me explain how this program works. We have declared a pair of variables a and b in which we are going to take input of the a, b two values, and we need a temporary variable to keep the value. Now here we prompt the user to enter two values. Say we take 10 as A and 20 as B. Using scanf, we can input values, and as I was saying, in this percentile D and percentile D are needed for integer input. Ampersand is the address operator. Whenever we take input of a variable, we need this address operator. Whenever we learn advanced programming languages like C++ or Python, then this percentile D, percentile F will be not needed. But now in C, we need this percentile D and this address operator. Now say, for example, we have input A equals to 10 and B equals to 20. Now these three lines of code makes the original swap. How these things is done? Let me show. This is the dry run code we have written here for your explanation. Look. Temp equals to A. What does it mean? The value of A is assigned into the variable temp. So what happens? Value of temp is 10 and value of A is 10. As value of A has not been changed, value of A is only assigned to temp variable or temporary variable. Now in this line, what has happened? The value of A is overwritten within the value of B. So value of A equals to 20 and value of B equals to 20 also. And in the last line, what happened? The value of B is overwritten with the old value of temp, that is 10. Now value of B is 10 and temp equals to 10. So you can see in after execution, value of A is 20 and value of B is 10. when we input first it was 1020, now it is 2010. So the swap has been done. Now we need to see them whether it's right or not. Let me compile. Here we see no error, no warning. So technically right. Now we shall run the enter two values as we say 10 and 20 we input. Now the values after swap a equals to 20, b equals to 10. So our code is right. Well, this is another variation of the previous program swapping two variables, but here we cannot use the third variable. The temp variable you were using previously is not allowed here. So the code will be like this. You can see only a and b variables are used. We take the input and these three statements will make the swap. So let me give you the dry run explanation. First statement is a equals to a plus b. We have input a equals to 10 and b equals to 20. So a and b sum value will be stored in the a variable. A plus b equals to 30. A equals to 30, b equals to 20. Now in the second statement, the value of b is subtracted from the value of a. A value is not changed, so a equals to 30 and b is 10. 30 minus 20 equals to 10. And finally, a before the assignment value of a is 30 and value of b is 10. So 30 minus 10 equals to 20. 20 is assigned on the variable a. So these three lines replaces swaps the value of a and b without using the temp variable. Check this. A 10, b 20, and the output is a 20, b equals to 10. So our output is right. Now we shall learn a very simple trick for the beginners. Here I will discuss how the structure of a simple C program will work. Some of my students, when they write code at first, then they face some problem about which statement will be followed by which statement and this thing. So we shall see a simple structure that can be implemented when you write a code. First of all, we write the preprocessor statements. That is hash include stdio.h. Some of the old compilers need conio.h. If you are declaring a macro hash define pi 3.14, that is. Next we write the main function. In C program, we usually write void main. If you like, you can write int main or simply main, and at last you can say return 0. It's your choice. After main function, we open a brace and we declare the variables at first within the main function. I have given some example, int x, n, it may be float, char or whatever your program needs. When the variables are declared, after that you need to prompt the user to input the value. How many values or what type of value, what value he need to input, you must tell the user. When user reads the printf statement and he inputs the value through keyboard, we need to take them using scanf or getS or getCal, and some other input functions are there you can use. When you have the data, input data, then we need to make the calculation and obtain result. This is the main logic. This calculation and obtain result is the main part of your program. Here I have given a very simple example. It will be changed according to your algorithm. What program you are writing, according to this your calculation and obtain result step will move. When you have got the result, then you need to show the result to the user, or this is called output the result. It is normally given with printf statement in C. Next, we will see how this simple structure works in a simple program in an area of a circle. In this code, what we have done, we shall take the input radius from the user and calculate the area and return the area. So let's see. Yes. this is. Here we have used the pi r square formula in 3.14, the value of pi into r. There are so many other ways you can implement this code. We will see when we will be coding. Now understand this code with the help of the previous structure we have read. First of all, what is these two? These are preprocessor statements. We need stdio.h and I am using the old compiler, so I have written conio.h, followed by void main. Void main, so we don't need gets return 0 as I have no return type. Return type is void. Then the brace open and this brace close defines the block for the main function. Main function, brace open, brace close. This entire code written within this brace open, brace close is the block of main function. Now we have declared a pair of variables. A stands for area, R stands for radius. You can give them other names like A, B, X, Y, but it is convenient to give variables names according to your purpose. Now this is our prompt statement. Enter radius is not for you, not for the programmer. This is for the user. Enter radius. When user reads the enter radius statement, he will enter the value through the keyboard and we are taking the input using scanf statement. When you have the value in R, we are calculating the area using this simple logic. When we have calculated the area, now we can output the value, and to make the output screen stand how much time we like, we have used this getch statement. If you are using an advanced compiler, then this statement is not needed, so you will not be needed this conio.h or getch. Another function we use sometimes clr scr to clear our screen. If you are writing clr scr, then has include conio.h is needed. We will see detailed of this program in the compilation. So let's see how this code works. Here is our compiler window. We have discussed the program. Now let's see. Compilation gives one error. What is that? Undefined symbol pi. Okay. Oh, sorry. Here it will be 3.14. Okay. Now let's check. No error. Let's run. Enter radius, say 4, and the output is 50.24. Here we have made a little manipulation. Let me show you this thing. This 0.2 is the number of precision we want to see after a float variable output. If we make it 4, then our output will show up to 4 digits of precision. So it's up to you how much precision you want to see. You can change this. Let me make it 2. Well, another thing I want to say is about macro. It is written as has include, has defined pi 3.14. Now we can replace this 3.14 with the macro name pi. Means to error. Define hash deo, d is small, define pi. Enter radius 4, 50.24. Well, this r square can be calculated using pow function. Also, let me show you that. Here you have to write hash include math.h. What is it? It's a header file that gives support for your pow function. Pow, that means power, r square, that is r comma 2. This is the base and this is the exponent. Bracket close, sorry. Check, right, output 50.24. Here are the ways you can write a program. Area of a circle, you can use macro, you can make it any other ways you like.